I've been reading in the San Jose Mercury News by a certain columnist that there's going to be an edgy nature to training camp this year in light of the way your season ended last year. Do you sense that you guys are going to come in with a little different sense of purpose, Ryane, after the quick exit last spring?
Yeah, maybe. I think, you know, we've had guys back start of August, the middle of August, which is kind of different from years past. Guys usually get back later in August. So guys are hungry, still a little ticked off from last year. You know, last year is in the past. We're trying to turn the page as much as we can, but we're going to come out right away, I think, and obviously we got something to prove when that happens, and you're going to have a lot of doubters, and we're probably going to hear about it all year. But we got to focus on the task at hand. But I know for sure guys are hungry to get going.
Right, you missed some time at the end of the year with a knee injury. Were you healthy when the playoffs started last year? Honestly.
Yeah, I mean, I was. You know, I could play up to 100%, you know, full potential. That wasn't holding me back whatsoever. The year before, you know, I just came back from an ACL. That was a little different. You know, it was times when it hindered your play. But last year, you know, I felt 100% and I was ready to go. But, you know, we did have some guys with bumps and bruises, but, you know what, so did everyone else.
Rob, you played on a Stanley Cup winner, obviously, in Colorado. What did this team lack last year? Because there was a point there where you were the best team in the NHL by far. Midway through it, you kind of tailed off towards the end, and then were not able to keep the momentum in the playoffs. So what did they lack last year?
Well, I think the problem, part of it was when we got into playoffs, we played probably as well in the playoffs as we did all season. The problem is that's not going to be good enough in the playoffs. Everyone else raises their game. Anaheim, you know, throughout their roster, I mean, from top to bottom and goaltender and everything, raised their level from what they played in the regular season and were able to get by us and continued on to Detroit. So that's one thing where, you know, we've done a lot of talking this summer and expectations and things, but you have to understand to raise that level.
Yeah, so how do you deal with that in training camp and regular season? Isn't that something you can only do in the playoffs? Or
yeah, you can only raise it in the playoffs,
right.
For sure.
So how do you deal with getting that? Because you weren't here the previous seasons,
yeah.
But that was kind of the deal that happened then. They couldn't get over the hump in the playoffs because maybe they weren't raising their game.
Level. And, well,
now that you're inside it, what do you think?
Well, the first step is admitting that that's why we did it. You know, not saying you know, there's no excuse for injuries or anything like that. We were healthy enough to go into that playoff run and make a run. So when your level's not there, you have to make that commitment. I mean, the management's made the commitment with the leadership thing. It's coming into our training camp, and we've got to, as a team, collectively bring that to the forefront, find a solution to that, and move on. So, but again, yeah, it's up to the players 100%.
Yeah, you were a free agent. You could have gone anywhere, right? Why'd you decide to come back into here?
Just because of the pieces to this team. If you look at the goaltender, you look at the defensemen and young guys like Vlasic, but older with Danny Boyle, a guy who logs big minutes, and then you look up front with Joe and Patty and Ryan and Dougie Murray back there. I mean, they have all the pieces. So once it comes together, it could be a lot of fun, and that's what we have to try to do.
How many more years do you want to play? You're 39. What are you going to be 40 early December, right? So could this one be your last one?
Got to be Chelios.
You're going to play till you're 65?
47, right? I got 7 more. No.
You're going to play that long?
No, I don't know. I'll go year by year and see, as long as it's health. But it's nice on a good team like this. You get pretty well protected for sure.
Speaking of retiring, JR, have you guys heard from Jeremy since he had that tearful goodbye?
Yeah, I talked to him afterwards. He seemed like, you know, he's happy with the decision, and he was ready to make his next move into whatever it is, Dancing with the Stars or movie business, I don't know.
What's he going to do? Is he going to start with Mike Myers and his next Love Guru?
I thought
Love Guru 2?
I thought he'd be in here right now.
He's knocking on the door to get
I don't think it's going to be any problem looking for JR this year.
You'll see him.
I think he'll be around. Well, sure.
Tell me one thing. You were in The Love Guru with Mike Myers. I love that movie. I love Mike Myers.
Yeah.
Did you get to spend much time with him at all?
A little bit. I've known him a little bit from L.A. He used to skate with us there, and during the series against Toronto in L.A. in '93, he was a big part of it. He was around all the games and that. So, fortunately, he called when he was doing the movie, wanted to know if I could do a small part in it, and it turned out to be very small.
He's from Toronto. Can he skate? Is he any good?
He's not bad.
He's not bad.
He's growing up skating. You can tell that. That's for sure.
You don't have to agree with things people write in the Mercury News, but I am wondering, this kind of unsettled nature with some of the personnel, how that coming into training camp, is it going to be a little uneasy until you get that all worked out? I mean, I think this training camp is going to be different than others I've covered, because there really is kind of an uncertainty, and there's kind of a weird thing going on inside, at least from my observation.
Yeah, I think we're going to be pretty comfortable. For some reason we feel like what's happened is going to happen. I think it's just the attitude of the guys who've heard their names a lot or are rumored to be traded. You know, they're approaching things business as usual. They're not, you know, they're normal. They got their smile on their face. They got a good attitude. I think the guys, we kind of feel like the moves that are made, not necessarily bringing guys in, but letting guys go are kind of what's going to stick. You know, to be honest, we don't really anticipate a big trade happening.
So have you forgotten about how it felt after that last game in Anaheim, or does it stick with you?
No, I think it sticks with you a little bit. I think we got a bitter feeling, a bitter taste, and I think that's why guys were back early, and you know, guys were hounding other guys to come back early and, hey, let's get this thing going. We got unfinished business, but as much as you can, you try to, you know, forget about it and don't dwell on it. But you definitely deep down inside, it's a bitter feeling.
All right, boys. Thank you for your time. You're going to the Giants game tonight, right?
Absolutely.
You're heading right over.
Yeah.
Check on Lincecum for us. We're very concerned that his back was a little.
And can either of you guys bunt?
Just slide down the shaft a little bit. You can do it.
Same principles.
It's the version of the butt end of baseball. Thank you, boys. Good luck to you this year.
Thanks, guys.
That's Ryane Clowe, one of the great power forwards of the NHL, and Rob Blake, one of the hardest shots in the NHL.